Damaging winds and tornadoes possible. That's the look at what's going on out there in the weather community. I'm here to analyze that for you. My name is Michael. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into it. So tomorrow we have a severe weather threat that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a slight risk. Going to be areas around Columbia, Charlotte, many metropolitan areas here in the south. Tornado threat. We've got a little bit of a shift with that as well. Tornado threat. It's going to be east of Raleigh with that 5%. So that's something we definitely got to watch out for areas of eastern North Carolina into the Delmarva region as we get into our wind threat. Look at those reds on your map towards Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Richmond, Roanoke, Virginia Beach, multiple population centers here. Hail threat as well in that yellow. Going to be mainly so if you live along from Charlotte to Washington, D.C., you need to be on high alert with these storms. So anywhere south of D.C. and anywhere northeast of Charlotte, that's what we're going to be talking about here. Today, we still have the severe weather that's happening here for areas. It's going to be Chicago, Indianapolis. I think there's been a little bit of a shift there. Tornado threat going to be that area. And they've been getting a lot of tornadoes today, actually. So if they've been getting a lot of tornadoes and we're predicting a 5% risk here for areas of eastern North Carolina, then it's going to be quite interesting. That's something we got to definitely watch out for. So for today, for areas of Chicago, wind is definitely going to be our main concern. So these severe thunderstorms are going to be a problem. Wind threat 30% with a dash line, and as well as the hail threat going to be areas around Chicago and into areas of Michigan as well. So that's something we got to watch out for. For our day 3, I know I kind of worked around a weird way there, but day 3, we're going to have a marginal risk as of right now for the middle part of the country in the northern sections, and then a probabilistic in that area. Low prediction is going to be in effect for those areas that don't want to pass that up. It's going to be a marginal risk down here for South Georgia and northern Florida as well. Probabilistic 5% in those areas as well. As we get into day 4, which is July 30th, we're going to be low to predict and low to predict for those days to come right there. So we're going to look at a model run here. Let's see what we've got going on here. We are looking at the HRRR model, and we might as well run the latest run of this model. And we're seeing a lot of precipitation, a lot of strong cells of storms. Here's a look at the HRRR. This is the latest run. Going to continue to areas before finally dying down and getting rid of. Then these storms are going to beef back up tomorrow, as you can see there. And we're going to look at the 18Z to get the longer range into areas of North Carolina. And this is what it shows here as you get into Tuesday. We stop it right there around Charlotte. You do have these little cells that are like in the afternoon at 12 p.m. But then we get another round once more around Charlotte. These storms seem to be stronger. Then they're just breaking up into these pockets in areas of eastern North Carolina. That's where that tornado risk is probably going to come in to areas in that section right there. So we continue that. Multiple shower and thunderstorm activity with those stronger cells. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado watch for the eastern of the Carolinas there. Severe thunderstorm watch is probably going to be in areas of the yellow, but we can't necessarily pinpoint that right now. But shower thunderstorm activity expected. Look at the Delmarva with these pockets of rain showers that are in effect. The Delmarva specifically around New York. And you can see that spin action. That's sort of that nor'easter that we're going to talk about in just a second here. But if we look at our RRFS model, we're going to look at Chicago because these storms are getting interesting right now in the 21Z. So we want the latest for the storms today. And look at those pockets. Heavy storms as you get into areas, not exactly pinpointing the exact time, but just a general idea of what could happen. Around 8 p.m. tonight, look at those showers and thunderstorms around the Chicagoland area in the Midwest. Columbus, you're dealing with them. In areas of Kentucky, you're dealing with them. Before some areas, some of these storms continue to travel all the way down to the lower Apps area region, and we're going to continue to deal with that shower and thunderstorm activity. But let's look at the 18Z run here. And the RRFS has a different idea. It wants to bring these storms in more towards areas of Georgia. So could that sway the outlook of the Storm Prediction Center? We still have the showers and thunderstorms going on in the Delmarva, but the RRFS is considering maybe that this area right into areas of northern Georgia, east central Georgia, that area needs to be watched out for in those northern sections. So that's an idea of what could happen. Shower and thunderstorm activity moving down towards the Atlanta metro area. So is this an area that we can watch? Eventually these storms dissipate and then move on out. But then look, as you get right into Thursday, it's going to be later in the week, we might have to watch for areas of Florida, so let's watch out for that as well. So as we get into areas, look at the shower and thunderstorm activity. into Tuesday around 2 p.m. We see it in Charlotte, but let me not forget you up here in eastern North Carolina as we get into those areas like that around New York. Those storms are leaving, and then you have that sort of that push, that turn, and then look at all of this moisture, the turning that's going on in the atmosphere. Now that is leaving us to our potential of a nor'easter. So let's look at that for areas of the northern part of the country. Yeah, I know that sounds weird that we have the potential for a nor'easter, but that's not exactly what we're going to be dealing with here. It's the potential of shower and thunderstorm activity. So there's not going to be any snow that's probably going to happen with it. Well, there's no snow that's going to happen with this. But shower and thunderstorm activity. Look at that low pressure on your screen as you can move, as you see this move, and this is the latest GFS. This is the 18Z run. You see a low pressure sort of getting and it's kind of hard to see on this map, but it's going to be in this area right into here that you're going to start seeing the rotation. And this is our 12Z run of the Euro model. And as you can see that we're getting a little bit of rotation happening there towards areas of northeastern areas, the New York area. Something we got to watch out for. And then in the, as we get, I probably have to zoom in on this a little bit more, but low pressure around areas of New York. You got a 998 millibar low here. It sort of moves on out. That's what the models have been hinting off at, and then we move out and then look as we get into the first week of August. Could we have a low pressure there? That's something interesting to see there, but mainly around areas in New York. A lot of shower and thunderstorm activity is expected, a lot of rain, a lot of precipitation expected from multiple areas in the north. So what could we see in the upcoming days? As you can see in the Wednesday, we're about at 1 inch in New York, not exact amounts, but this is possible what could happen. As we get into Thursday, we're getting near 1.5 inches or past it. As we get into Sunday, 2 inches of rain in New York, and that's not just New York. I want to zoom in on some of these locations here. More of the purples on your screen, isolated areas, as you can see here, 5 inches in Mansfield. So that's something we got to watch out for. Not everybody will get the rain, shower, and thunderstorm activity. It's just something we're watching. It looks like we're going to have a summer type nor'easter though, with no snow accumulation. So no snow, just the shower and thunderstorm. So take this as if this was into winter per se. Maybe, I mean, any winter month, so to speak, and this would be a lot of snow for multiple areas, a big snowmaker. But right now we're just looking at a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. Going to be a lot of rain, going to be a lot of wind. Remember, that's what nor'easters do. We have a lot of wind associated with these storms. So if this comes to life here, that's something we definitely got to watch out for. As we get into the Weather Prediction Center, which is the excessive rainfall, we haven't looked at this in a while, but areas of Chicago, they're dealing with it today. A lot of marginal across areas of the United States is going to include areas like Denver, west of Miami. I would assume that is going to, well, that is Miami included in that as well. Key West into Cape Coral into Tampa. We got to watch out for that as well. In the Northeast, moderate. We've been talking about this nor'easter. The flooding is definitely showing up here on the map. So areas of New York, as you get into the downtown regions, you're going to have that moderate risk. As you get to the outer areas, slight risk and marginal risk in effect as far south as North Carolina. You do have the slight risk in effect for Denver and southward. As we get into our day 3 outlook, we're going to have that slight risk stick around New York. And then day 4 and day 5, we'll have to watch out for that slight risk in the middle part of the country. So what do we have going on here with the National Hurricane Center? No tropical development expected in the Atlantic. Things are getting very active there as we get into the Pacific. Category 4, this was a Category 5 earlier in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Hurricane right now near Hawaii, going to be expected to be a tropical depression before, so it makes any landfall, if it does make landfall. But it looks like the storm's just going to pass to the north, but we'll have to watch on that tropical storm out here in the Pacific as well. So the Pacific is very active. The Atlantic is very quiet at the moment. Nobody seems to be dealing with these storms as of right now. We're going to keep on a watch for those storms. And yeah, it's pretty clear out here as we get into areas like this. Now, we do have some heat advisories in effect. That's going to be from the National Weather Service here. Heat advisory, but heat advisories in effect for almost the entirety of the state of Georgia. Heat warnings in effect for the entirety of multiple states in the central part of the country. Extreme heat warnings as you get around the middle parts of the country. More outward areas going to be heat advisories. Heat advisories for the low country and the Midlands of South Carolina, some areas of the low country, and near Wilmington with those heat advisories. That's just going to be that looks like to be Wilmington is included in that. Wilmington actually does have a coastal flood advisory that is in effect. Another flood advisory up here. So up here to the north, no tornado warnings right now, but these tornado warnings are probably going to continue. Look at right here, the flash flood warning. Some severe thunderstorm watches have expired for areas of the northern parts. Severe thunderstorm watches in effect for areas of northern Kentucky, areas of Illinois, areas of south of Chicago. So these are areas we got to watch out for. But the heat is extending all the way up here. Air quality alerts in effect for areas of the west. Coastal flood advisories are not coastal flood advisories. Beach hazard statements are in effect for those areas. Flood watches in effect. We're going to be watching for that nor'easter that's happening in areas of New York. My name is Michael, here to update you on the latest, and I'll see you out there in the weather community. Stay safe.